less than 20, 15% combined. So it's very interesting. This is where the pastor spends most of his time. The next group is weekly attendees that are not the core. Everyone up here right now actually comes to Mass every Sunday, but what do you think the weekly attendees who are not the core say if you ask them, hey, why do you come to Mass on Sunday? What was that, Kathy?
Because I have to.
Because I have to. Supposed to, right? Guilt. Why else? Is that the only reason? How about
teaching your children?
Trying to do the right thing? Yeah, yeah, very sincerely. They want to do the right thing. They've made a commitment. Most of these people are here all the time. I would say it's a continuum. Like these people that are close to the core would never miss a holy day of obligation, for example. The people that are a little bit further out here maybe aren't quite sure when those days are, right? But yeah, they say things like, well, sometimes it's fire insurance. Right? I mean, I was told I'm going to hell if I don't do my math. Okay? Another one is, I want my kids to grow up with the faith, whatever that is, right? But the interesting thing about it is, I mean, those are all good, they're all valid reasons. Are they the best reasons? They're not the best reasons. People here are trying to tread water. But there's one concept that's really, really true about all of our things. We're never really treading water, right? We're either heading towards Christ and deeper in relationship with Him, in knowledge of Him, and being conformed into His image, or we're heading away. Right? That's why Christ says, be either hot or cold, or I'll spit you out. You know? So then the third group, occasional attendees, they call them. There's all kinds of little affectionate names. Priesters, right? Priesters. So they come at Christmas, Easter, biggest day of the year. Biggest day of the year, Ash Wednesday. And another big one is Palm Sunday. I asked a priest the other day, I said, why? Why Ash Wednesday and Palm Sunday? He said, because I gotta get my ashes. I gotta get something. They're coming to get something. Again, I suppose that's an okay, I mean, it's a reason. It's not a great reason, but the other one, a priest said to me, also hatch, latch, and dispatch. Baptism, weddings, and funerals. I'm like, yeah, that makes some sense. Okay? The next group, another priest said to me, this is incomplete. He said, what about the Catholics, the what does he call them? He calls them Seals. Not the same way. Right? C-I and for C-Nos. Catholics in name only. I said, well, who are they? I mean, aren't they kind of, he goes, no. He said, half my parish we never see. Ever. Except, actually, if you really think about it, they do come to the weddings, right? And they do come to the funerals most of the time. They usually don't come to the baptisms, the first communion, stuff like that. But I said, half your parish? I thought, this is an anomaly. I don't know what's going on in Byron, Illinois. You know? Yes?
Would he be talking about half the registered parishioners?
Yes.
Okay.
This is everyone on here is a registered parishioner so far. So I thought this was so interesting, so I did some research. On the USCCB site, there's a ton of research actually. 40 to 50% of Catholics that are registered at a parish never come to Mass, or very, very, you know, you can't even put them in the occasional attending category. Now, I don't think it was that way 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you know, there was kind of these three categories. But every priest I talked to said it's getting worse. Guess what? In the Diocese of Rockford, across the board, parishes in attendance are down almost 20% from 10 years ago. Across the board. That means if you take all the parishes, all the attendees, you know, at your typical Mass, head count is down almost 20%. You know what the worst part is? We've had a huge influx of Spanish-speaking folks that make the numbers awesome if you just look at their numbers. If you took them out, it looks way, way worse. So, I get to bring out the good news. All right, so there's a couple other things I'm going to try to speed it up. John, if I'm time-wise, if I need to really speed up, let me know. Fallen away Catholics, right? So this would be, if it were in our country, it would be the second biggest religious group in the country. Just fallen away Catholics. The first would be Catholics. Second would be fallen away Catholics. Okay? Then you've got a big group of this is a cone, by the way. Right? You might say, well, are these things adding up? It looks like this. Then you've got non-Catholic Christians. This one is huge. It's 20% of the population. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. Right? And then you've got atheists, agnostics, growing numbers of atheists and agnostics. And then you've got a bunch of little rings, right, that represent Islam, Judaism, right?
So have we gone away from the registered parishioners now?
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone from here down. Everyone from here down is not a registered parishioner. And this is a big circle. I mean, I don't even fit it all. You wouldn't even be able to read it. But here's the kind of the point. When I'm talking about this with a pastor, they know something that I didn't know 2 years ago, and it's ever present in their mind. Sometimes they don't know what to do about it. But did you all know this? That a pastor's responsibility, he is the shepherd, not just for these people who he spends all the time with, not just for these people who he sees once a week, not for these people he sees once in a while, but all these other people, he's responsible in some way for every soul within the parish boundary. The bishop is responsible for every soul in his diocese. That's pretty heavy, you know? And the reality is, most pastors have no idea what to do, really. And they might have a vague sense of what to do, but they don't have the answer. I mean, think about the stats, right? I mean, everyone's head counts are going way down. They're in a panic. The way one bishop said recently, I am beyond concerned just with the head count problem, because he knows their trajectory. Okay?
Brian, do you
yes.
have statistics on who a lot of the world draws in? Do we draw in all the way non-Catholic? Do you have statistics on that?
That's a great point. We don't have statistics on it. At St. Thomas here, I know Joellen has, it's kind of anecdotal, data. It's like, oh, we can see this. When we started Light of the World way back when, mostly it's like we call it bolstering the core, right? I mean, you're evangelizing your core, which is always important. We're always continually evangelizing ourselves, our family, everyone, right? So here, and it was mostly people here, right, Joellen, early on, but it's almost flipped, you said.
Yeah, I think it was like 90-10 in the beginning, and I honestly think we're at 10-90 right now.
Which is awesome. If you think, and it's a process, right? So we actually have been doing a process, the Light of the World evangelization process, here for 10 years, and it's working. It's reaching out and pulling in people from all over. What we're going to show you is that we think there's some ways to be very specific about how you implement that can actually supercharge the process even more. But the process itself is actually biblical. So I've had priest after priest that said this recently. So they look at this and they say, this is the biblical model, right? It's Christ, the apostles, the disciples, and they go out like the placid pond or lake, and you drop a big rock in the middle, and those waves that go out, right? Well, we kind of do that talk, right? Monsignor here kind of comes in and gives a talk like, how did Christianity spread, right? Okay, so a couple other points. This is Pope John Paul II. Says, I sense that the moment is now, it's come, to invest some of the church. No, he said all of the church's energy into a new evangelization. All of the church's energy, right? No believer in Christ, skip this part. No believer in Christ can avoid this supreme duty to proclaim Christ to all peoples. Sure, no institution of the church, but no believer in Christ can avoid this supreme duty. How supreme is it?